To be a great storyteller, you have to experience the world. Hey y'all, what's going on? It's Papa Bear here, and thank you for tuning so much for tuning to another episode of Epic Adventures. Um, this has been a crazy year, y'all, and so because I've been stuck indoors because of the whole COVID situation, haven't really been able to go out and hike like I wanted to because I had some like major hikes set up for this year, and 2020 saw the end of that. I decided to do a deep dive into reading instead of just watching TV because after the first week or so, there's really nothing on, and I just became bored with what was out there on television and Netflix. I mean, really, The Tiger King? Yeah, this world is doomed. But anyway, so I decided to start reading books, and one of the books I decided to read is this book by Derick Lugo. It is The Unlikely Hiker. This is an awesome book. But before I start talking about this book, I want to hit out some propaganda real quick. So, if you like this video, please be sure to hit the like button and share it with a friend, a family, and an enemy. Okay? Also, if you like the content in which is being produced on this channel, please be sure to subscribe and hit that notification button. And as always, I like to hear from you guys. I like to actually have a conversation with you. I enjoy interacting with the people that watch these videos. Lets me know if I'm doing things right, if I'm doing things wrong, and as hell, I just like to talk all the way around. So please be sure to go down below and comment about my videos. Now, just so you're aware, I've had a glitch with YouTube, the mobile app for YouTube. I'll say it like that. I have not been getting all my comments in a timely manner, and so recently I discovered that, and I've been going back trying to like, comment, share, interact with you guys. And I apologize for that glitch. I don't want you guys to think that I'm just like completely ignoring you. I'm not. This is a glitch with YouTube. I now understand it, and I'm moving forward, trying to communicate with you guys. So please, please, please continue to comment. Now, let's get back to this book. Unlikely Hiker. Why is this an awesome book? Well, I will start off by saying, one, it is one of the few books that I've seen that has been written by an African American male, okay? Or a black Puerto Rican male. I'll say it like that. There's not a lot of literature out there that talks about outdoor experience from our point of view. And so I was very intrigued when I first heard about this book. Now, the way that I heard about this book is that a couple weeks ago, I did an interview for The Trek. They did an article about minorities being on trail and our experiences. And this came shortly after Acuna himself was on the track. And if anyone doesn't know who Acuna is, he's the first black male. And then if you want to try to figure out who the first black person overall is, it's Chardonnay. I digress. But anyway, Acuna talked about his experience on trail in regards to racism. And so, days after I was interviewed, an article was released, and Derick reached out to me and said, the article which you interviewed for has been released. Check it out. Now, as I read the article, I realized I was the only person that was minority that was not a AT through hiker or a PCP through hiker, any way you look at it. Everyone else has accomplished the feat. I was the only one, though, that was a section hiker. And realizing this, I started looking at each and every person, figuring out who they were. There was Acuna, there was a Shawnee, there was Derick. And as I was looking into Derick's Instagram account, I realized that he had a book out, and that intrigued me. So, I did some little bit of research on Amazon, trying to figure out what the book was about, and pretty much he was talking about his experience on the Appalachian Trail. So now I'm like, I gotta read this. There's no one else that I know of that's doing this, which I stand corrected. There's another person, but that'll be a later video date and time because I have to buy his book. So I spent the money, about all of, I think at the time, $25. Right now the book's on sale for $10. Yeah, could have waited a little bit, but I'm happy that I actually have the book because this book explains so much on how the Appalachian Trail itself can be so far removed from the realities of the world. Now, you see it. I saw it for this COVID. When you see hikers on trail and they don't realize how bad the COVID situation was progressing this year. But I really saw it with this book because he talked about his perspective as a minority on trail. I mean, the way he wrote it, he was the only minority on trail. I mean, there was times in this book that people knew exactly who he was, and he never met them, never spoke to them. I mean, it was just like, hey man, how do you know me? And then the people on the trail response was, you're the only black guy on trail. That's just epic. It blew my mind on how that statement, you're the only black person on trail, really meant to me. And I believe it came up maybe 2 or 3 times in the book, especially as he got further up to north near Katahdin. And for my Caucasian folks, okay, this isn't a white and black issue. It just goes to show that there are some areas of life that we have been shut out or we have not been aware of due to us still evolving as a race. Because you got to remember, the civil rights was in the 1950s, 1960s. It hasn't been that long for us to actually allow us to spread our wings and fly. So we're still progressing as a culture, okay? I'm not trying to shame anybody out there. I'm not trying to isolate my white viewers from my black viewers. If anything, I want us to come together, because in order for us to fix this, we all got to talk. In order for us to fix this, we all have to understand each other's experience. When I lived in Savannah, I ran across a family and they used to use the term redneck. And when I was coming up, I was like, I'm not going to say that you're a redneck, because that's equivalent to me, for you calling me the N-word. And the guy looked at me and said, you're not going to offend me with that statement, because I am a redneck. And he broke down what a redneck was. And I'm not going to do it because I don't want to miss something out. And just like you have 2 N-words, you have the one with the ER and you have the one with GA. Depending on which one you use, could be a term of endearment, and the one you use could be the term of me whooping your behind, because you can't use that either way. You can't use either one. But either way, one means hate, one means love. And so I'm still not going to say it in regards to calling him a redneck. But it opened my eyes to how the N-word to me and how the redneck word to him can sometimes mean a term of endearment across the board. And so that's what this book, I say again, The Unlikely Hiker, brought to the table. It brought some awareness to a culture difference, how he handled them, how he was able to be positive when someone assumed that he, sold drugs, did marijuana. You got to read that. I'm not going to tell you why, but you got to read that. How an older, elderly woman saw him on trail, and just the sight of seeing that particular man, brightened up her day, or the fact that there was a woman at a grocery store that just looked at him funny, but not from a negative point of view. It was a positive point of view. So Derick was able to talk about those events in this book, and he did a good job expressing himself. So that way, you as the reader, if you really open your mind, you can put yourself in his shoes and walk his path. I give you credit, Derick. I give you credit. Now, for anyone that wants to say that he's paying me, he's not. I'm doing this on my own condescent, because this is I'm going to say it again, this is a great book. You have to support writers like this when they bring something to the table that breeds positivity, that breeds education. So, yes, this book is educational. It is educational to everybody, because it goes to show that there's not always hatred on trail. Now, do I believe there are shortcomings on trail? Yes. Do I believe there could be more diversity on trails? Yes. Should we fix that? Yes. Because any exclusion is death for everybody. The Appalachian Trail will not survive if you do any exclusion whatsoever. Okay? It is a place for blacks. It is a place for Spanish people. It is a place for Native Americans. It is a place for the LTJ, for the LGB. Okay, I'm sorry for butchering, but you get what I'm saying. I get tongue-tied. We cannot just say that you can't come, you can't come, you can't come, because just like churches, I'm going to use it for example. If you have a church that does not bring in new blood, what happens to that church? It dies out. The same thing can happen to the Appalachian Trail. So if you get the opportunity during this post-COVID era, okay, because we all know that the second wave is coming up, pick up this book. There's other stories in here that I would like to talk to you about, but you know what? I think Derick may sue me because I'm, giving away his book. And honestly, I want you guys to enjoy this book. I actually highlighted a couple of areas in this book, things to keep in mind for myself. And just like the AWOL guide, it provides me with a little bit of information about the trail that I did not know prior to. So if you like the AWOL guide, if you read the book Wild, if you read the book Walk in the Woods, I do encourage you to read The Unlikely Hiker by Derick Lugo. So that being said, y'all, if you have any questions about this book, where I got it from, how much it costs, or if you have a recommended suggestion for a book that I should read, please go down below in the comment and put it there. So with that being said, I'm Papa Bear. Thank you so much for watching this video. There's more videos to come from Epic Adventures, despite the fact that I've not been able to hike outside like I want to. But with that being said, I want you guys to be blessed, be safe, happy hike, happy life out here.